Hey everyone, welcome to this video. So, can her feelings change? So your ex, can their feelings change? So many of you wonder, how can I get my ex back? How can I get my ex-wife back? My ex-girlfriend back? And you think that feelings are set and that once somebody feels a certain way, that they're never going to feel differently ever again. But that's not the case, right? Feelings are constantly changing, right? Feelings come and feelings go. Feelings change. Think of yourself, for example. How many times have you maybe throughout your life not liked a particular thing, right? And maybe as you grown to learn more about it, or maybe it was an actor that you never liked before, and maybe you've seen more movies and you begin to feel differently about that actor. You like that actor now. Maybe a certain food, maybe you didn't like a certain type of food, and you tried it, you tried different variations of it, you tried different things, and your feelings on that began to change again. Same with sports. Maybe you don't like hockey, okay, or baseball, but you may have learned more about it. You may have started watching it with friends. You may have started watching it with your family, and you learned more about the game. You've learned more things. You've seen more positive things about it, and you've come to really differently about it. So now you like it, right? I mean, you may wake up in the morning and not feel like doing anything. Yet where you lay, you get a little bit of rest, and before you know it, suddenly now you feel like getting up and going out and going to do something, right? There's a multitude of different ways in which feelings change, right? They're constantly changing. So when somebody says that they don't like you any longer, or they can't help their feelings, or they can't help the way that they feel right now, that's a in the moment type of situation. Okay, so like we said, feelings are constantly changing, right? As things change, situations improve, you learn new things, you try new things, your feelings on matters may change. So that's the number one thing that you have to think about when it comes to getting back an ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, is that their feelings can change, right? So that's where you have to be confident that, it is possible to change somebody's feelings, right? So how do we do that? So how do you do that? When it comes to your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, whatever, chances are, they've been unhappy about certain situations for a long time, okay? So the problem is that they may have been unhappy, but we may not have recognized it, right? You probably didn't recognize it, because if you did recognize it, then you wouldn't be here listening to this video. But what happens is that they get to a point where they no longer can deal with the situation, right? So there's certain behaviors that they see happening within your relationship that they do like, okay? So certain things that they feel are never going to change, okay? Maybe it's the way that you act when you're around your friends with them. Maybe they feel like they're being taken for granted. Maybe they felt like they were, not a priority. Maybe they felt like you weren't doing anything with your life, that you weren't ambitious, and maybe, there was security, no safety. You have to think. The number one thing out there for women especially, okay, is safety, a sense of safety and a sense of security, okay? And because women are really in tune with their emotions, men are not in tune with our emotions the same. We tend to think on a different level than what women think. Women are more emotionally connected, and they deal with things from an emotional standpoint, whereas men are more logical thinkers, where they want a solution. They want to fix something right then and there. And a lot of men don't get caught up in their emotions, right? They don't look at things that way. So there's probably been times when your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend has indicated to you that they weren't happy with the situation. Maybe you were arguing more, maybe you were fighting more, maybe there was just distancing happening between you. Maybe you didn't feel as connected. So you have to take a good solid look at yourself if you want things to change, right? How can you get your ex or your ex-girlfriend back, right? You have to take a good, honest, hard look at yourself in the mirror, and you have to look at all the things. And a relationship breakup forces you to do that. If you really care about that other person, it'll force you to take an honest look at every aspect of everything in your life. And sure, you're maybe not 100% guilty or at fault for the relationship breaking down. That may be the case. Maybe you feel like you didn't really do anything. But there's little things in there that you probably weren't doing to meet your girlfriend's wants, and her needs. So things like, again, we discussed it, right? Maybe they didn't feel as close to you. Maybe they didn't feel like they were a priority. Maybe they didn't feel like they had an emotional connection with you, okay? Maybe they feel like they were able to do certain things. Like maybe they felt like you were controlling them too much. You were trying to control the relationship. Maybe you were jealous. Maybe you were jealous a lot. Maybe you acted out of jealousy and you tried to control situations with your ex-girlfriend or your ex-wife. Things that are weaknesses. These are things that are not your personality traits. These aren't masculine personality traits. These make you look weak. Okay? And a woman wants a secure, confident person. Okay? A secure, confident man. And if you're not in control of your emotions, so if you're getting angry over every little thing, or you're getting irritable over a little thing, and everything turns into an argument or a disagreement, and if you can't make decisions and you're leaving the decision making up to her, or you can't be a secure partner for her, okay? Maybe she feels like you don't help her enough with stuff. If you live together and it's an ex-wife, maybe she felt like you didn't do enough to help take some of the love off of her. Maybe she thought there was a lack of ambition there, or a lack of interest in trying to look at her needs and see that she needs some downtime, see that she could use a little bit of help. All these things build up in a woman's mind, and they start to slowly chip away at her attraction level for you, right? They start to make you look like a weaker, more insecure partner, okay? Less reliable partner, a less secure partner, right? And again, that's what women want. Women want security. They want a sense of security and safety, right? Maybe you didn't listen enough. Maybe you were always tuning her out. Maybe she would suggest ideas and suggest things to you, and maybe you shot them down. Maybe you interrupted her and didn't want to listen, and you passed it off like she knew what she was talking about. Maybe you weren't taking the time to sit and show interest in her and listen to what she's trying to tell you. Okay? Now, I've been here with all of this stuff, okay? And so I know where in the past, where I have made mistakes, where I've failed to do things the right way, where I've not been maybe as supportive as I should have been, or where maybe I've taken her for granted some way, and maybe I've focused on myself, and by focusing on my own issues, my own problems at the time, or my own health problem at the time, or whatever the situation was, I was still not taking her needs into consideration. And it's a horrible feeling to recognize that after the fact, to recognize that, hey, now I see where I dropped the ball, where I made mistakes as a man. I wasn't taking the lead. I wasn't doing this. Maybe you're saying I wasn't taking the lead. I wasn't guiding her, through my life with me as a equal level partner, right? Women want to be an equal too. They want you to take the lead, but they also don't want to be looked down upon as, they're less than you. They're your child, right? Nobody wants to be talked down to. No adult person wants to be talked down by their spouse or their significant other and talked to as though they're a child or as though they don't know what they're doing. Okay? Whether you intended to do it that way or you intended to not do it that way, that's what it came across, to your ex-girlfriend or your ex-wife, as, right? Maybe you were saying stuff in a way that was making her feel like you were being condescending. You were talking down to her. You were making her feel like a child instead of feeling like your equal, your partner, your best friend, right? And that's the problem. You have to take a good, solid look at yourself in the mirror. You have to think of all the things. Stop trying to blame everything on them. Even though they may be to blame for a lot of things, you have to stop trying to blame everything on your partner and act as though you've done everything perfect, because you haven't. And that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. If everybody was perfect, there'd never be any divorces, no breakups or anything. Okay? But that's not the way things are. Your spouse, your partner has to have a realistic view of things as well, but you can't worry about what you need to do. That's the problem. You can't focus on your partner right now when you're in a breakup situation and you're trying to reconcile with your ex. You have to focus on yourself, okay? So you have to look at what you can control. And what you can control right now is you. You can control your actions. You can control your interactions with your ex. You can control what you choose to do with your life. Are you going to get a better job? Are you going to go out and get a job? Are you going to get a more steady job? Are you going to get a job with better pay? Or a job that's going to allow you to have more time with your ex, right? Should you guys get reconciled, okay? Or are you taking care of yourself physically? Are you going to the gym? Are you doing things to keep yourself looking like a high-value person, right? Are you working on your body? Are you trying to eat healthier? Are you trying to take some pride and show some respect for yourself, right? Take some care and some time to better yourself, right? That's why people go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym and build muscles and get, turn into a huge man or whatever. You don't have to do that. That's not the situation. The situation is that, are you doing things to better yourself? Are you trying to, eat better? Are you trying to dress better? Are you trying to, maybe you've changed the style? Maybe you've changed your hair. Maybe you've done, whatever it is. All these little things that you should be doing. Okay, these are things that you should be doing, because these are things that your ex is going to take notice of. Even if they don't say anything, they're going to take notice of the fact that, hey, you know what? He's lost a little bit of weight, or hey, he's looking like he's in shape. He's looking more fit. He's changed his hair, right? I've been bugging him for years saying he should do this, and now he's done it. or maybe style, right? He's not dressing like he's 14 years old anymore, right? He's not wearing gaudy t-shirts and running shoes and wearing stuff all the time like that. He's trying to up his fashion game a little bit, to look a little bit more mature and to look like a high value person, right? These are all things that you need to do and that you need to look at, areas of your life where you need to become a better person. But you also got to want to do it for yourself, not just to do it just temporarily, just to try and win your ex back. These are changes that you have to look at in your life to try and change for you. Because if you change them for you, you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to feel more valuable as a person. And if your ex comes back, great. If they don't, you've also leveled up as a person. You've made changes to yourself. You've improved your look. You feel more confident. You feel better. You feel more secure. You feel more manly and like a better man, okay? A better individual. And that's the most important area. Then if your ex recognizes, which they will, they may not indicate to you that they do, but they will. If you continue to interact with them in a positive way and a considerate way, and more with more consideration for what they're saying and thinking, and you show these outward changes, then they're going to take notice of that, and it's going to have an impact. Okay, so that's where you need to start. You need to take an honest look at yourself. You need to be really honest and think about all the things and the mistakes and the areas that you have made errors, and see, that you were at fault for a lot of stuff, and you broke your wife or your ex-girlfriend down, and you caused hurt to them through your actions or lack of actions. Okay? So you need to be honest first. If you're not going to be honest with yourself, and you're not going to look at that, you're not going to take any blame for anything, and you're not going to pick out these areas where you've messed up, well, then you will never get your ex back. Because you need to acknowledge those things and stop worrying about what your ex has done, but you need to make the changes in yourself to improve yourself, become a better person that your ex is going to take notice of, okay? And when they take notice of that, that's how action or reattraction can start, okay? But it's not going to start until you do something to, through your interactions with your ex and changing up you as a person, be it physical, like outward appearance, whatever, that's how you're going to slowly start to get things to change, right? Because your ex is going to see those changes in you, and they're going to be curious, and they're going to come around more, and they're going to start to want to find more out about what you're doing, how you're doing. Maybe he's changed. Maybe he's done this. Maybe he's done that. Oh, he's interacting with me differently now than he was before. He changed himself up. He's bettering himself as a person. Then you become more valuable, and suddenly your market value goes up. And now they have the hard choice of, am I going to lose him for good? He's improved himself as a person, and now he's more valuable to other women, right? So that's where your ex is going to come to a point where they're going to be thinking, geez, do I take a chance and get back with him and slowly get to know him again and see if these improvements are going to stick and possibly reconcile with him for a relationship? Or do I lose him potentially forever? Now that he's improving his value, his market value, other women are going to start to take, right? So that's where your ex is at. So these are the changes that you need to look at. You need to make improvements on yourself in order to get feelings to change, right? In your ex. You need to become a better person, And these are just some of the basic things you can do to start that process. Okay, so hopefully this was of use to you. Please be sure to go and check out our other videos that we're going to be posting, and hopefully we'll have you as a subscriber.